As we come on the air, the ABC News exclusive. President Trump's sons called to the FBI, learning from authorities that foreign hackers tried to break into the Trump organization. Also developing tonight, President Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, a top advisor in the West Wing, now his meetings with the Russians under FBI scrutiny. Blistering words from Hillary Clinton, what she said today about impeachment that immediately made headlines. Severe storms hitting tonight and tomorrow, several major travel cities in the bullseye. Rob Marciano standing by. The serial killer and the woman found in a container on his property. Tonight, how many victims and how long will he be put behind bars? And lost at sea, the American newlyweds. The wife now missing, the husband found in a raft. The FBI called in on the case. And the new offer late today from Ariana Grande to all of those people who were at that concert.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Friday night, and we begin with an ABC News exclusive. The FBI calling in President Trump's sons to reveal to them foreign hackers tried to break into the Trump organization. The FBI calling Don Jr. and Eric Trump to an emergency meeting at its New York office. There is also news tonight about the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, the president's advisor. Now, his meetings with Russian officials are under the FBI microscope. ABC senior justice correspondent Pierre Thomas leading us off.
Tonight, law enforcement sources tell ABC News President Trump's eldest sons were summoned to an emergency session at the FBI's New York field office earlier this month. The reason, a warning that foreign hackers were trying to compromise Trump Organization computers. Because it involved the president's children, a special VIP notice was sent to senior officials in New York before the May 8th meeting, which happened to occur just a day before FBI Director James Comey was fired. The source of the attempted hack on the Trump's computers was unknown, but tonight Eric Trump is denying that any computers were compromised. Still, the company remains a top cyber target.
Hackers would love to get into the president's family business to try to get information that might be valuable. They could sell it, or they could use it to try to damage or compromise the president in some way.
News of the Trump sons meeting with the FBI comes as Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, is under scrutiny by the FBI for his contacts with Russians, specifically for two meetings last December. One between Kushner and the Russian ambassador, which included former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, who was fired for misleading the White House about his Russian contacts. And a second meeting between Kushner and the head of a Russian bank with ties to the Kremlin, that bank under U.S. sanction. According to the New York Times, Kushner did not initially document those meetings on his security clearance forms as required.
Jared Kushner is the kind of person that anyone conducting an investigation right now would want to talk to.
There's no evidence that Kushner is the target of the FBI investigation into Russian meddling in the election, and no evidence of wrongdoing by Kushner.
These are contacts that might have been totally innocent and benign, as well as those that might have succumbed somehow to those Russian efforts.
But intelligence officials worry that the Russians had a very specific plan to target those in Trump's orbit.
So let's get to Pierre Thomas live at the FBI tonight. And Pierre, your sources saying right now, no evidence of any wrongdoing by Kushner, but great interest from the FBI to learn what Kushner knows from those meetings.
David, to be blunt, the FBI will want to know all the details. But Kushner's lawyer says her client is willing to cooperate and has volunteered to share with Congress anything he knows about those meetings, David.
Pierre Thomas leading us off tonight with his exclusive. Pierre, thank you. As the president's sons deal with that foreign threat trying to hack the Trump family business, their father overseas with tough words for foreign leaders on his trip. But tonight, the president is the one facing new pressure to change his mind on a key issue. ABC's chief White House correspondent Jonathan Karl traveling with the president.
With fighter jets streaming the colors of the Italian flag, a dramatic welcome for world leaders in Sicily, as the president took time to tout a victory back home, boasting about the win of a Republican congressional candidate in Montana who was just charged with assaulting a reporter.
Sick and tired of you guys. You were the Guardian? Yes, and you just broke my process.
Great win in Montana. It's the final stop in a whirlwind first foreign trip that produced some memorable images. The sword dance with Saudi leaders, the visit to the Western Wall, a first for a U.S. president, the first family's meeting with the Pope, and that push to the front of the NATO photo op. Here in Sicily, the leaders of the world's 7 most powerful democracies signed a declaration to step up the fight against terrorism. The leaders here also urged President Trump to make a commitment to fight climate change, something the Pope also asked of him, but something he dismissed as a hoax during the campaign.
A lot of it's a hoax. It's a hoax. I mean, it's a money-making industry, okay?
And Jonathan Karl joins us tonight from Sicily. And John, you told us that when the president left that meeting with the Pope, he said, "I won't forget what you said." A lot of pressure from the Pope and some other world leaders to rethink climate change. And you've learned tonight the president might be evolving on the issue?
Well, the president's top economic advisor, Gary Cohn, said exactly that the president's views on climate change are evolving. So where he once promised to rip up the Paris Accord on climate change, it now appears the president, at the very least, is willing to consider changing his mind. David?
John Karl with the president traveling on the foreign trip. John, our thanks to you. Meantime, back here at home tonight, Hillary Clinton returning to her alma mater to speak at graduation 48 years after she gave the speech as a student. But today, what she said about impeachment that made news immediately. ABC's Mary Bruce tonight.
It was a familiar stage for Hillary Clinton back at her alma mater, Wellesley College, 48 years later to again deliver a graduation address. First, sharing how she's bounced back from her bruising loss in the presidential election.
Long walks in the woods. Organizing my closets, right? I won't lie, Chardonnay helped a little too.
Clinton then taking on her former rival, her most direct attacks yet against President Trump.
When people in power invent their own facts and attack those who question them, it can mark the beginning of the end of a free society.
It was at this same ceremony in 1969 that a young Hillary Rodham launched her political career with a speech to her fellow graduates. At the time, it was President Nixon's White House in political turmoil.
We were furious about the past presidential election of a man whose presidency would eventually end in disgrace with his impeachment for obstruction of justice. But here's what I want you to know. We got through that tumultuous time.
Shortly after, New York Magazine releasing online an exclusive interview with Clinton, including pictures of her watching coverage of the Russia investigation, sifting through mail from her supporters, and alone in her office. Today, back in the public eye in a different role than she had imagined, rallying the resistance.
Don't be afraid of your ambition, of your dreams, or even your anger. Those are powerful forces, but harness them to make a difference in the world.
And so let's get to Mary Bruce live on the Capitol tonight. Mary, Mrs. Clinton signaling that she'll continue this role of rallying what she calls the resistance.
Yes, and David, Clinton has now formed a new political group called Onward Together to help fund organizations that resist the president's policies. David, she's going to keep at this.
Mary Bruce with us live tonight. Mary, thanks. We're going to turn next year tonight to millions of Americans traveling tonight just as severe storms are set to hit tonight and into tomorrow and even Sunday, too. And another trouble spot today, I-95 in Florida. An accident near Miami, backing up traffic for miles. The storm threat causing delays and cancellations tonight. This tornado in Colorado near the Kansas border. We do have the storm track for you. ABC's Eva Pilgrim at LaGuardia Airport tonight.
Tonight, the most travelers in over a decade are taking to the roads, rails, and skies.
I'm excited to go away, get to the beach.
I think the train really helps beat the traffic.
If you're getting out of LA, it's pretty horrid.
Friday, the worst time to head out.
It's mid-afternoon and some analysts are predicting travel times could double out of New York City. You can see it is already backed up.
This truck fire on I-95 outside Miami creating a massive bottleneck. Severe weather will impact travel all weekend. The system that brought tornadoes, large hail, and heavy rain to Colorado expanding east, 50 million at risk. More than 900 flights were canceled Thursday. With nearly 3 million taking to the skies, that means long lines today. Christy Garcia packing her patience.
We came 3 hours early, so we didn't want to miss our flight and be stuck.
And Eva Pilgrim joins us from LaGuardia Airport here in New York tonight. And Eva, in addition to the ripple effect from those delays and cancellations because of the storms, you were telling us the TSA is also testing new screening across the country?
That's right, David. TSA is testing new procedures at 10 airports around the country that could go nationwide. In addition to taking out your laptop, they're also asking you to take out any electronic larger than your cell phone, things like your iPad, and put all of those things into a bin. David?
All right, Eva, thanks to you. In the meantime, meteorologist Rob Marciano tracking the severe weather tonight and into the Memorial Day weekend. Hey, Rob.
Hi, David. We have storms that are rumbling near two big travel cities tonight, namely Chicago and Denver. Check it out. Tornado watch out for Illinois and Indiana. Thunderstorm watch out for Denver and the rest of Colorado until 8 o'clock tonight. That storm gets in the plains tomorrow and then explodes. We have a moderate risk for severe weather. Springfield, St. Louis, Paducah, the heartland. Damaging winds, tornadoes there. But really the threat stretches from Dallas all the way to Raleigh, and then another day on Sunday, some of those same areas getting hit again. Poor timing on this holiday weekend. David?
Rob Marciano with us again tonight. Thanks, Rob. Next tonight here, the serial killer in court. We reported on the woman who was found alive in a container on his property. It turns out she was not his only victim. Tonight, that one-time real estate broker in court pleading guilty in the deaths of 7, unmasked as a serial killer. Here's ABC's Steve Osunsami.
A South Carolina judge tonight is sending this admitted serial killer to jail for the rest of his life. 46-year-old Todd Kolop is pleading guilty to 14 charges, including murder and kidnapping. Police found some of the bodies of as many as 7 of his victims buried near his home.
Good luck to him in prison, and I don't ever want to hear about him again.
Kolop was already a registered sex offender when in November, police discovered a missing woman who he chained up in a storage container on his property. Kayla Brown had been tied up for 2 months. She spoke to Dr. Phil McGraw.
Calm just washed over me. I was just there. I was free, and I was just ready to get off that property.
Her boyfriend was one of the bodies police later recovered from the property.
I hope Mr. Colvett will spend every day for the rest of his life thinking about the pain and suffering he has caused so many people.
Prosecutors say they would have preferred the death penalty, but say the state ran out of the drugs used for executions years ago. David?
Steve, thank you. Next year this Friday night, to new word coming in late today from American pop star Ariana Grande after the terror attack this week in Manchester. ABC's Matt Gutman is there.
Her concert silenced by that bomb, scattering fans and the carnage. But tonight, Ariana Grande is silenced no more. The pop icon writing in a statement today, "We won't let this divide us. We won't let hate win," vowing to perform again in this battered city a benefit concert in honor of and to raise money for the victims and their families. All around England, signs of that critical alert. Hospitals ordered to prepare for an attack, and in Manchester this evening, we were there as SWAT teams swarmed downtown.
Minutes ago, there was a tremendous amount of screaming here. Police cars swarmed this area, screaming, "Get down," telling people to get back.
That was a false alarm, but it was the real thing at this man's house 2 hours south of here.
When I opened the door, there was officers right in front, about 3-4 officers right at the door, pointing guns.
His family member arrested, one of multiple ongoing searches in this country.
And Matt Gutman with us live tonight from Manchester, England, where word has gotten out that Ariana Grande now plans to return, Matt.
That's right, and the initial reaction, David, over 2 million likes on social media, and I spoke with folks here in Manchester. They said they can't wait to welcome her back here, and one young woman telling me that it shows that Ariana Grande is not scared of Manchester. David.
Just look at that incredible memorial there behind you. Matt Gutman, our thanks to you again tonight. There is still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Friday. We're following several developing stories. The deadly police chase, the suspect speeding onto an airport runway, the driver crashing through the airport gate, commercial flights nearby. We'll have more in a moment. The city bus slamming through the brick wall of a warehouse this afternoon. Several people badly hurt. Investigators are on the scene right now. And lost at sea. The American newlyweds, the wife now missing, the husband found in a raft, and the FBI has been called in on the case tonight.
Sharon was given a few months to live if her cancer wasn't treated.
I was diagnosed with advanced non-small cell lung cancer, which I thought meant chemo. But a biomarker test showed I had high levels of PD-L1, which meant I could start with a different treatment.
1 year later, she's here with her family. A true story with Keytruda.
On Keytruda, my scans started showing good news.
In a clinical study, Keytruda offered patients a longer life than chemotherapy, and with high levels of PD-L1, it could be your first treatment instead of chemotherapy. Keytruda is for adults with non-small cell lung cancer that has spread, who test positive for PD-L1, and whose tumors do not have an abnormal EGFR or ALK gene. Keytruda helps your immune system fight cancer. Keytruda can cause your immune system to attack normal organs and tissues in your body and affect how they work, and may be serious and lead to death. See your doctor right away if you experience new or worsening cough, chest pain, shortness of breath, diarrhea, severe stomach pain or tenderness, nausea or vomiting, rapid heartbeat, increased hunger or thirst, constipation, dizziness or fainting, changes in urine, changes in eyesight, muscle pain or weakness, joint pain, rash, itching or flushing, as this may keep these problems from becoming more serious. These are not all the possible side effects of Keytruda. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions, including immune system problems, or if you've had an organ transplant or lung, breathing, or liver problems.
Each day now, it's a gift.
A chance for a longer life. It's true. Keytruda from Merck. Ask your doctor about Keytruda.
It's Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale, and we're giving away mattresses to 50 lucky winners.